Hello and welcome to the Travel Enthusiast channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my experience with A-level psychology. I absolutely loved A-level psychology. I talk about it quite a lot on my channel, but today I'm going to be talking primarily about my year 13 experience. I've already done one for geography and one for sociology, so obviously it makes sense to do one for psychology. Right, so year 13. It was a roller coaster, to say the least. I felt like it was honestly non-stop, and it was difficult. You know, that's what I'm going to say. It was difficult. Year 13, what did we learn? We learned about mental health. Quite interesting for me. Didn't like it. It was my least favourite of year 13, but it was good. We did OCR psychology. So yeah, mental health, and that was just about different ways they would treat mental health. You know, basically treatments throughout the years, different like disorders and issues, and you know, so like OCD and bipolar and depression is quite interesting. Different names, different drugs, and you know, quite big words to remember, long definitions to remember. I think on the A-level exam paper I did, there was about, there were 6 questions, 6. They change it up from year to year, but sometimes it's 5 questions, sometimes it's 6, but the marks will be the same. The biggest mark on the mental health, I believe, is 10 marks. Not too bad. The smallest is 5 marks, and then anywhere in between the other questions. And it would just be like, define this, or this study. Oh, on my exam there was 2 or 3 studies, and you learn 3 studies in mental health. It's not too bad. You learn 3 big studies in mental health, if you do OCR, obviously. So it's not too bad if you do component 2, because there's literally about 20-30 studies that you have to remember in like year 12 and kind of in year 13 as well. So that's quite, you know, it's quite hectic. The other units include our next one, criminal psychology. That was my favourite, I feel. Yeah, I would say it's my favourite. Criminal was just about prisons. Do prisons work? Love it. Different cases, the courtroom, how there is bias with different people if you associate with them and their accent, like Birmingham accent. Honestly, if you love psychology, like you will love criminal. Criminal was so good, so interesting. And last but not least, or is it least? No, last but not least is child psychology. Yes and no. It was kind of like this with me. I kind of liked it, kind of didn't. This was like the last unit of our year 13, and this was near exam, so I was like, I just want to finish it now, come on. So I kind of lost interest, but who knows, if I did that one first, I may have liked it. It was all about, I think there was 6 studies. 6 studies for criminal, 6 for child. Don't hold me against that, but I think it is. For child, it was just about the development of children, so like the Ainsworth study. That was just about the development of children and attachment parenting and toys. Oh, gender stereotyping in adverts. Oh, trust me, OCR psychology. I know quite a lot of people in my class, and even my teachers were like, so OCR is not a good exam board, AQA is better. For me, I don't know the difference, obviously, and I like OCR. I think it's a great exam board. It's quite robotic, I would say. Like this study, aim, method, sample, conclusion, evaluation. Next study, sample, aim. It was quite robotic in that sense, like especially year 12, it was like, study, right, finish that study, next study, this study, next. And you don't really like, they don't link together. How we learned it, they've changed it now, but how we learned it in my year group, it was like, right, this study, this study, this study. Whereas now they're doing, okay, all the social studies and all the biological studies together, so it kind of flows. OCR is a bit of a mess really, but I do like the exam board. Do I recommend psychology? Yes, I recommend psychology. I've learned so much in my A-level journey that I didn't even really consider or even think about, you know. It really opened my eyes to issues really, like never did I imagine that there's bias in the courtroom. Like I know thinking now is kind of obvious, but I wouldn't even cross my mind, you know. With psychology, because it is hard. I know I say that about my subjects, and everyone says that about their subjects. It is hard, but it's not immensely hard. It's just more of the fact that there is so much to remember, and I think that's a lot with with most A levels, with psychology, with sociology, with English, with media. Like, it's not exactly hard, it's just a lot to remember. You know what I mean? Like with sociology, and if you've done it or you're doing it, you may agree, you may not. I feel like it's not extremely hard to understand. Some things I've learned, I'm like, don't really get that. But then it's explained to me and I get it. It's just a lot to remember, like loads of keywords, loads of studies, loads of definitions, all of that, you know, to remember. My top tips for A-level psychology is revise, obviously. And I know you're probably watching me like, you're so annoying, why are you telling me to revise when obviously I'm going to revise. But know your studies. What I did, so I tried throughout my 2 years, learn studies, and when it got near to my exams, like, I can't remember all of this about the studies. There's like 20, 30 studies. Actually, probably more, because there's some in year 13 as well, so there's like 40 studies around, and obviously you can bring in knowledge from other studies. You just need to know a bit about each study. Like, okay, know obviously all the names of each study, obviously. Know the aim. Know your numbers. Oh my god, my teacher said to me, know your numbers. Know your samples. For example, like how many whistle blew and how many obeyed, like Milgram, everyone loves Milgram. Just simple stuff like that. So know the title, know the aim, know some stats, so like sample, know kind of what the method was, like kind of what happened, and I would say conclusion. Or like what they found, or the point of it, you know, like what actually, like, oh, we gathered that, a kind of evaluation. And then ethics, you can kind of, like Milgram, you can be like, right, ethics, obviously it wrote like 100 million ethics, you know, like people weren't debriefed, people, you know, were neglected, all of that, you know what I mean, like all these ethics that I can't remember on the spot, oops, there's like 6. Confidentiality, you know, all of that you can kind of bring in, and that's kind of obvious. But that is my tips for the studies, learning the studies. So that's kind of like mainly component 2. With component 3, I would say, so that's year 12. For component 3, I would say, know your keywords. Oh my god. Know your keywords. Bring in words, bring in demand characteristics, bring in social desirability, which I kind of say, oh my god. Bring in ethics, bring in broken window theory, attachment parenting, bring in development, you know, bring in all these words, which some of them aren't even that big, but just, it shows the examiner you know what you're talking about. It really does. Oh, and my key point, what I've been told, what I've you know seen, is for component 3, year 13, with the questions on like mental, with on child and criminal, bring in study. So it'd be like, for my question, I think it was around, oh, this lady is she's a police officer and people keep reoffending. How would you stop people reoffending? Oh, and then you bring in like from stuff you've learned from psychology. So you'd be like, oh, programs or educational programs, and then you back it up. Oh, this study, new studies. Oh, Wilson and Kelling spoke about the broken window theory, and this backs it up. Blah blah blah. Although a weakness, evaluate your points. Evaluate. It shows you know what you're doing. That's what I can say. And component 1, which I know it's not year 13, it's year 12. The research methods. My main tips, I would say, include know your structure of your 15 marker. Oh my god. Do you know how long it took me to know the structure of my 15 marker? And that would, most of the time, not all the time, most of the time would be my downfall of why I've got not a bad grade but a low grade. So for example, in my year 13 mock, I got a C. Yeah, I got a C on that paper, a high C. And she was like, my teacher, she was like, oh, really good paper, but you're 50 marking to work in it. I got like 3 out of 15. So if I got like 5 more marks, literally about 5 more marks on that essay, and we got a B on that paper. So it's just a few marks, you know what I mean? Like, you think, oh, it's just 1 mark, but when you actually break it down, you're like, wow. So I know your 15 markers. I think it's like TF something, I don't know, but you're supposed to, like, on each paragraph explain what each, so you're supposed to speak about the sample you used, you're supposed to, you know, bring in your own experiment. I'm kind of waffling on because I can't remember, but bring in your own study and support it with the one that they actually talk about in the exam. So keep talking about each and really clearly lay out your paragraphs. That is the main thing I can say about that. The maths side, just knowing maths, revised maths. There's loads of booklets online that you can print off, which are fantastic, that I found, which I think you have to pay, but our school bought them and gave it to us, like, and put it in the system. Yeah, so they just break it down for you. Just type in research methods booklets. And the two key words I'm going to say to you that you need to include is evaluation and context. That's my biggest tip, my two biggest tips. Context and evaluation. Evaluate your points. Don't just say like, yeah, this study is good because this, X, Y, Z. Be like, okay, although it can be argued, however, you know what I mean, like use words like that. Show that you know what you're talking about, as I like to say. This is probably like the 4th time I said that. And context. Be like, okay, so instead of question on component 2 paper 2 is saying something on the lines of, how does Milgram show that people obey, or something like that? You'll be like, oh, the Milgram study, which was focusing on blah blah blah, showed that 65% of blah blah blah. That is context. Just back it up with stats from the study. Back it up with, you know, just stuff that they found out. I hope this video has helped you. My results day is in 4 days. Oh my god, 4 days. And I really hope I've done well. I've tried so hard. I really hope the work's paid off. I mean, if it hasn't, I'll be absolutely devastated. I hope this video has helped you. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. Give it a like, a comment, all the rest. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.